Welcome back to our channel. Today, in quiet reverence, we remember the talented artists who left us too soon, some only just days ago. From the icons of Hollywood to rising stars, they each brought light to the world of entertainment, until they passed away suddenly. If you feel moved by their stories, we invite you to leave a like as a silent tribute in their memory. Thank you. Now, let us begin. Anne Burrell, the celebrated culinary educator and longtime Food Network host behind Worst Cooks in America, has tragically passed away at the age of 55. The beloved celebrity chef who died on June 17, 2025, was found unresponsive in the shower of her Brooklyn home by her husband, Stuart Claxton. First responders declared her dead at the scene. Early reports suggest a possible cardiac arrest, with an ongoing investigation exploring the presence of multiple pills nearby. Anne Burrell was more than just a TV personality. She was a veteran mentor, a teacher to countless aspiring cooks, and a trailblazer in American food television. Her cultural impact came through shows like Worst Cooks in America, Secrets of a Restaurant Chef, and Iron Chef America, where her vibrant spirit made culinary learning feel accessible and joyful. Her legacy is etched in over a decade of uplifting entertainment and passion for cooking. Though she showed no public signs of struggle, her final Instagram post, shared just 5 days before her passing, captured her glowing with joy. She called meeting influencer Elizabeth Rosenthal the Green Lady of Brooklyn, a long-awaited moment. It was a serene snapshot of happiness, now made hauntingly poignant. In a tender tribute, her family shared, "Anne's light radiated far beyond those she knew. Her warmth, spirit, and boundless love remain eternal." With a reported net worth of $4 million, Anne leaves behind her husband and a generation she inspired. She now joins the solemn list of celebrities who died today, a reminder of the fragile beauty behind every smile. Kim Woodburn, the beloved British reality TV icon best known for How Clean Is Your House, has passed away at the age of 83. The news of her passing on June 16, 2025, was confirmed by her longtime manager and a heartfelt message from her husband Peter on her official Instagram. "My wonderful, beautiful Kim passed away last night. God bless, my love." Her death followed a short illness, with prior signs of declining health shared in March when she paused her social media presence, telling fans, "I need to get better." Woodburn rose to fame in 2003 as the no-nonsense, glove-clad co-host of How Clean Is Your House, a cultural phenomenon that made home hygiene compelling and entertaining. With her sharp wit and commanding presence, she became a veteran mentor to viewers across generations. Her legacy also includes appearances on Celebrity Big Brother and I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, where her unfiltered honesty made her unforgettable. Behind her public strength was a journey of redemption, a difficult childhood in abusive boarding schools, the heartbreaking loss of a child, and public scrutiny throughout her reality career. Yet she always staged a comeback, refusing to dim her voice or compromise her truth. As fans mourn, tributes pour in. The pop duo Jedward wrote, "Rest in peace, Kim. You created TV gold for all generations." With a net worth of $5.48 million and a life that redefined boldness on screen, Kim Woodburn now joins the timeless list of celebrities who died today. Her cultural impact endures, fierce, fearless, and unforgettable. Lynn Hamilton, the iconic television actress best remembered for her roles in Sanford and Son and The Waltons, has passed away at the age of 95. The news was confirmed on June 19, 2025, by her longtime manager and publicist, Rev. Calvin Carson. According to Carson, the beloved actress died peacefully, surrounded by her grandchildren, loved ones, and caregivers. Though no specific cause was disclosed, her passing marks the end of a truly remarkable legacy in American television. Hamilton made history in 1972 as Donna Harris, the compassionate nurse and love interest of Fred Sanford in the groundbreaking sitcom Sanford and Son. A year later, she joined the Waltons as Verdi, bringing depth and dignity to a rare African-American role in period television. Over 5 decades, she graced countless screens in Roots, The Next Generation, Hawaii Five-0, Good Times, and Curb Your Enthusiasm, leaving a profound cultural impact on generations of viewers. Her story was also one of quiet redemption and unwavering passion. From her screen debut in 1958 to acting well into her 80s, Hamilton remained a veteran mentor whose presence transcended time and trends. Her life and career stood as a powerful comeback in a world that rarely gave second chances to Black actresses of her era. Reverend Carson praised her illustrious career and indelible mark on entertainment. Lynn Hamilton joins the solemn list of celebrities who died today, but her spirit, dignified, warm, and trailblazing, lives on in the stories she helped tell. Ananda Lewis, the vibrant former MTV VJ and host of her own daytime talk show, has tragically passed away at the age of 52. Her sister, Lakshmi, confirmed the heartbreaking news on June 11th, sharing that Ananda is now free and in his heavenly arms. Lewis had been battling stage 4 breast cancer, which she was first diagnosed with in 2020. Known for her openness and honesty, she later admitted she delayed treatment, hoping for a natural healing path, a decision she bravely acknowledged with humility and grace. Ananda became a cultural force in 1997 as one of MTV's leading VJs, hosting Total Request Live, Hot Zone, and major MTV news specials. With her poise, intellect, and warmth, she interviewed icons like Destiny's Child, NSYNC, and Brandy, becoming a veteran mentor for young viewers and a face of trust in youth media. She was later named one of People's 50 Most Beautiful People and described by Prince as Cleopatra, a queen. Her career expanded with The Ananda Lewis Show and The Insider, and even outside the spotlight, she made a comeback as a carpenter and advocate for women's health, blending elegance with authenticity in every phase. Ananda Lewis leaves behind her son Langston and a legacy defined by cultural impact, courage, and deep introspection. As tributes pour in, she is remembered not only as one of the celebrities who died today, but as a voice of truth, empowerment, and beauty on her own terms. Jonathan Joss, the acclaimed Native American actor best known for voicing John Redcorn in King of the Hill, has tragically passed away at the age of 59. The devastating news was confirmed on June 1, 2025, by his husband, Tristan Kern de Gonzalez, who witnessed the tragic shooting. The couple had returned to their former home in San Antonio, Texas, a property previously destroyed by arson after years of threats and harassment, when a neighbor confronted them with hate-filled words and opened fire. Joss shielded his husband, sacrificing his life to save him. Joss's career was defined by his distinctive voice and cultural impact. Through King of the Hill, he brought humor and dignity to Native American representation on screen. Beyond acting, he pursued entrepreneurship with a signature line of spice rubs inspired by his beloved character. His legacy extended into advocacy as he spoke out just days before his death at the ATX TV festival about the discrimination he endured as a gay man and artist. Jonathan Joss's life was a powerful redemption story, rising from marginal roles to becoming a symbol of visibility, truth, and resilience. He had recently married Tristan on Valentine's Day and was actively planning their future together. As we mourn another name among the celebrities who died today, we remember a man whose voice reached across generations and whose courage still echoes. "He loved you all like family," Tristan wrote. "Now my mission is to honor the life we built and the man he was." Valerie Mahaffey, the Emmy-winning actress beloved for her quirky, unforgettable roles, has passed away at the age of 71. Her death was confirmed by publicist Gillian Roscoe, who shared that the Hollywood star died in Los Angeles after a brave battle with cancer. A celebrated presence on both stage and screen, Valerie's legacy lives on through a dazzling array of performances that shaped American television. Mahaffey earned her place among Hollywood stars with her Emmy-winning role as Eve in Northern Exposure, and continued to charm audiences as Alma Hodge on Desperate Housewives, Victoria McElroy in Young Sheldon, and Lorna Harding in Dead to Me. Her turn as Madame Reynard in French Exit earned her a Spirit Award nomination, highlighting her cultural impact in both comedy and drama. Her sobriety journey through illness was met with quiet strength, and she remained active in film and television until her final years, including recent roles in Echo 3. Through decades of consistent work, she served as a veteran mentor to rising talents and a beacon of character excellence. Her husband, Joseph Kell, shared in mourning, "I have lost the love of my life, and America has lost one of its most endearing actresses." Valerie Mahaffey's comeback spirit and enduring grace leave a legacy that will continue to inspire generations of fans and artists. If Valerie touched your heart, share your memories below, and help keep her story alive among the celebrities who passed away but never fade. Valerie Mahaffey, the Emmy-winning actress known for her delightfully eccentric roles in Northern Exposure, Desperate Housewives, and Young Sheldon, has tragically passed away at the age of 71. Her publicist, Gillian Roscoe, confirmed that Mahaffey died peacefully in Los Angeles after a courageous battle with cancer. A beloved presence on both screen and stage, her passing marks another solemn moment in the chapter of celebrity deaths that remind us of the fragile brilliance of Hollywood stars. With a career spanning decades, Mahaffey was celebrated for her unique ability to bring quirky, layered characters to life. Her portrayal of Eve in Northern Exposure earned her an Emmy in 1992, cementing her legacy as a true character actress. From the manipulative Alma Hodge in Desperate Housewives to the rigid teacher Victoria McElroy in Young Sheldon, her work left a lasting cultural impact. She shone not only on television, but also on the Broadway stage and in acclaimed films like French Exit, for which she received a Spirit Award nomination. Behind her quiet strength was a journey of resilience. Even in her later years, Mahaffey experienced a graceful comeback with standout roles in Dead to Me and Echo 3, showing her redemption as a veteran mentor to younger artists. Her husband, Joseph Kell, movingly shared, "I have lost the love of my life, and America has lost one of its most endearing actresses." Valerie Mahaffey's legacy lives on through the characters she created, the audiences she touched, and the standards she set for generations of performers to come. Rosanna Norton, the visionary costume designer behind Tron and Carrie, has passed away at the age of 80. Her death was confirmed by her granddaughter, Mira Gonzalez. Rosanna died peacefully on Wednesday at her Los Angeles home after a courageous battle with bladder cancer. A trailblazer in cinematic costume design, Norton earned an Oscar nomination for her groundbreaking work on Tron, 1982, sharing the honor with Elois Jensen. Over a career spanning 4 decades, she brought visual depth and character to films such as Badlands, Carrie, Airplane, The Stuntman, Gremlins 2, and Frankie and Johnny. She collaborated with celebrated directors, including Brian De Palma, Terrence Malick, Joe Dante, and Gary Marshall, shaping the wardrobe of an era and bringing stories to life through fabric and form. Born in Los Angeles in 1944 to a poet mother and architect father, Rosanna was destined for artistry. Though she began as a painter, a fateful collaboration with her husband on Cisco Pike launched her into costume design. With style, humor, and deep sensitivity, she helped define some of the most iconic visuals in 70s and 80s cinema. After retiring from film in 2009, Rosanna returned to her first love, painting. She is survived by her daughter Laura, 5 grandchildren, and a sister. Her family, friends, and colleagues remember her not only for her brilliance on screen, but for the warmth, creativity, and legacy she leaves stitched into the fabric of American film history. Nicky Katt, the gifted character actor known for Dazed and Confused and A Time to Kill, has sadly passed away at the age of 54. His death was confirmed by the Los Angeles Police Department, who stated that Katt died by suicide at his Los Angeles area home. The official cause was verified by the county medical examiner on April 15, 2025. Katt's screen presence was magnetic. Over nearly 4 decades, he took on 75 roles, shining in both mainstream hits and cult classics. Audiences remember him best as the unpredictable Clint Bruno in Dazed and Confused, the chilling villain in A Time to Kill, and as an intense educator in Boston Public. Whether in The Dark Knight, Insomnia, or School of Rock, his performances were always unforgettable, quirky, sharp, and deeply human. Despite his immense talent, Katt's career quieted after 2018. Behind the scenes, he wrestled with personal struggles that ultimately claimed his life. No public signs foretold his pain, making this loss all the more heartbreaking. Director Robert Rodriguez paid tribute. Nicky was an absolute joy on and off the camera, a true artist and friend. These words echo what many feel, gratitude for his artistry and sorrow at his departure. Though he left us too soon, Nicky Katt's legacy lives on in every scene he transformed with wit, originality, and soul. Let us honor him by remembering the characters he gave voice to and the man behind them. There was a time when her voice played in every American living room, a voice that soared above heartbreak, lit up Olympic stadiums, and comforted millions during long, quiet nights. But behind the spotlight, Celine Dion's journey was never just about music. It was about love, loss, and the quiet art of beginning again. She didn't simply rise to fame. She carried her entire family's hopes with her. She didn't just sell records. She gave every performance as if it might be her last. And when illness stole the one thing the world most associated with her voice, she chose not silence, but transformation. If you've ever whispered, "My heart will go on in the dark," or found courage in "Because You Loved Me," this story is for you. Share your favorite Celine memory in the comments, because her legacy lives not only in her songs, but in us. Born on March 30th, 1968, in the modest riverside town of Charlemagne, Quebec, Céline Marie Claudette Dion was the youngest of 14 children. Her parents, Adamar and Thérèse, affectionately known as TZ, ran a small bar called Le Vieux Bill. It wasn't glamorous, but it pulsed with life. Late-night jam sessions, laughter over cheap wine, and harmonies layered like family quilts. She once napped in a guitar case tucked beneath the family piano. At 5, she mimicked her siblings' harmonies. At 8, she led the melody. The Dion household may have been poor in money, but it overflowed with music, faith, and warmth, the soil from which a global icon would quietly emerge. Her first real stage wasn't grand. It was her brother Michel's wedding. But when she sang Jeanette Reno's Senate Carve with crystalline clarity, the room fell silent, then erupted. "Like oxygen in my lungs," she would later recall. "That was the moment I knew. This is who I am." It was her mother who first believed this was more than just a parlor trick. Along with her brother Jacques, they mailed a homemade demo cassette to Montreal impresario René Angelil. He listened once, then mortgaged his home to fund her debut album. That leap of faith would become a cornerstone of Celine's legacy. By age 12, she was juggling school with diction lessons, breath control drills, and variety show performances across Quebec. At 13, she won the Yamaha World Popular Song Festival in Tokyo. Her French lyrics stunning judges who didn't even speak the language. Then came gold records in France, and in 1988, a Eurovision victory representing Switzerland, a French-Canadian teenager conquering continental Europe with a love ballad. "Applause is a gift," she would often say, "not a guarantee." She'd fly home between gigs just to pour sodas at her family's bar. Stardom never disconnected her from where she began, but destiny wasn't done with her yet. In the early 1990s, with Renee now both manager and quiet romantic partner, Céline set her sights on the English-speaking world. For months, she immersed herself in Florida, sharpening her pronunciation for a bold crossover, the album Unison and the single Where Does My Heart Beat Now. It cracked the US top 10, a daring validation of Renee's long game. Then came the earthquake, the power of love, the color of my love, and a string of wedding anthems that turned her into a household name across continents. Her stage presence combined regal elegance with playful charm. One night she'd beam like a young girl. The next, she'd command the stage like a queen. But behind the curtain, she was still calling her mother every night, still baking tourtière, still whispering thanks before sleep. And every morning, she rose early, rehearsed hard, honored the song. That was her sobriety journey, not from substances, but from ego. The world would soon know her not just as a singer, but as the voice, a shorthand for clarity, control, and emotional resonance that could split hearts wide open. And her legacy wasn't built on gimmicks. It was built on discipline. In 1996, Falling Into You would become a cultural juggernaut. Blending soft ballads with Latin riffs and rock guitars, the album sold over 32 million copies and won a Grammy for Album of the Year. Its singles, Because You Loved Me, It's All Coming Back to Me Now, and the title track, became emotional Swiss Army knives, opening weddings, funerals, graduations, and movie trailers alike. She could belt an F with surgical precision and caress a whisper into tears, often within the same song, and producers adored her one-take efficiency. As one engineer said, "She sings like time costs a soul, not just money." Then came 1997. James Cameron had just wrapped Titanic, unsure whether to end with a song. Composer James Horner persuaded him to try one demo. Céline recorded it, once. No warm-up, no second take. That recording became My Heart Will Go On. It would go on to sell 18 million copies, win an Oscar, and engrave her voice into cinematic history. Dressed in a cream tuxedo, backward, Céline sang it at the Academy Awards, redefining fashion and fragility in one gesture. The flute intro alone still cues instant goosebumps in half the planet. She wasn't just a pop star now, she was a cultural impact, a living soundtrack. And yet, the higher she rose, the more she stayed grounded. "Every note I sing is for someone who can't anymore," she once told a journalist. Her voice was never just performance, it was prayer. But no voice, not even hers, can defy time forever. By the turn of the millennium, Céline Dion had reached the summit of global fame. Sold-out tours, Grammy trophies, and a string of timeless ballads had secured her place in pop history. But behind that velvet curtain, something more fragile was unraveling. Years of relentless touring, jet lag, and high-belt finales began taking a toll on her famously elastic vocal cords. In 1999, she was diagnosed with severe laryngitis and vocal fold swelling. 30 shows were canceled. 3 weeks of strict silence followed. Renee, now her husband, communicated with her using notepads and hand gestures. In that silence, something shifted. "Rest taught me that a whisper can be louder than a scream," she later reflected. A quiet mantra that would carry her through deeper storms ahead. That same year, another devastating challenge emerged. Renee was diagnosed with throat cancer. Céline walked away from the spotlight at the height of her career, not out of fatigue, but out of love. She turned her dressing room at Caesar's Palace into a hospital suite. Between medical appointments and late-night lullabies, she pursued in vitro fertilization, another battle fought away from public gaze. On January 25, 2001, their son, René Charles, was born. And in that moment, the woman who once measured her worth in applause learned to treasure silence, nursery lights, and lullabies. She was no longer just a global icon. She was a mother, a caregiver, a human being in the most sacred sense. Still, even in hiatus, she studied. She followed production trends, whispered melodies into her recorder. "I'm pausing, not quitting," she told the press. "The next act needs new inspiration." That next act would rewrite the rules of live entertainment. In 2003, Céline returned with A New Day, a Las Vegas residency conceived by Cirque du Soleil's Franco Dragone. Critics scoffed. Vegas residencies were considered soft landings for fading stars. Céline proved them all wrong. With 4-story LED walls, aerial dancers, and holographic rain, she didn't just sing, she conjured cinema live. Over 5 years and 717 shows, the production grossed over $400 million. It wasn't just a comeback. It was a cultural reset. Pop veterans like Elton John and Britney Spears soon followed her model. But Céline wasn't chasing relevance. She was creating it. And every night, even after the final bow, she stayed behind rehearsing until union crews shut off the lights. "People fly thousands of miles to see me," she said. "They deserve the very best of me." Yet even perfection has a price. In 2012, she began experiencing strange distortions in her hearing. Doctors diagnosed patulous eustachian tube, a condition where her own voice echoed loudly inside her head. Surgery helped temporarily, but Las Vegas humidity triggered sinus infections. Her temple, her body, was sending signals. She started tracking her recovery in color-coded binders. Green for breath control, yellow for pitch, red for fatigue. She eliminated alcohol, cut dairy, hired meditation coaches. Her sobriety journey was one of structure, not abstinence, every element designed to protect her legacy and reclaim control over her body's instrument. And then, the unthinkable happened. In January 2016, René passed away from cancer at age 73. Just 2 days later, her brother Daniel succumbed to another cancer. 2 funerals in 1 week. A woman who sang for millions now found herself singing alone. But mourning did not stop her. 13 days after René's funeral, Céline stood on the stage at Caesar's Palace, trembling but unbroken. Her voice cracked during All by Myself. The audience wept with her. That night wasn't just a concert. It was a vigil, a resurrection. A woman climbing out of grief not by stepping away from the world, but by stepping further into it. Her resilience would be tested again in 2020 when her beloved mother, Thérèse, the woman who first sent that cassette to René, passed away at 92. Weeks later, the pandemic brought the world to a standstill. Isolated, grieving, but still fiercely alive, Céline transformed her home into a sanctuary. She FaceTimed with her son René Charles about music production, practiced Pilates each morning, wrote in her journal nightly, always ending with a quiet "Merci la vie," just as her mother taught her. She cooked soup for the homeless, lit candles at Notre Dame Basilica, and studied songwriting via Zoom, determined to return with something new, something truer. But even that quiet redemption had more trials ahead. In December 2022, Céline revealed to the world her latest battle: stiff person syndrome, a rare neurological disorder that causes painful muscle spasms and can seize her diaphragm mid-note. It wasn't just a medical diagnosis, it was a spiritual reckoning. The very thing she was most known for, her voice, was now most at risk. But she did not retreat into silence. She invited cameras into her treatment. I Am Céline Dion, released in 2024, became a landmark documentary of vulnerability and endurance. Viewers watched her undergo immunotherapy, muscle rehabilitation, and vocal therapy. There were tears, setbacks, but there was also laughter, humor, and grit. In one moving scene, she whispers to her trainer, "If my upper range is on sabbatical, my soul still sings." That is the spirit of Céline, where fragility becomes another octave, where redemption isn't about perfection, but persistence. Today, Céline Dion no longer performs 6 nights a week under spotlights and pyrotechnics. Instead, she rises early in her Montreal home, opens the journal beside her sunroom studio, and quietly tracks her breath. She still sings, not for stadiums, but for healing, for memory, for redemption. She calls it her training camp, not her retirement. Her soundproof studio lets her explore new textures, whispered French verses, hushed choruses, lyrics born of pain and patience. Draft tracks like Gravity Sleeps and Hope is an echo hint at a new chapter. Not a comeback in the traditional sense, but a spiritual continuation. Outside of music, Céline has expanded her cultural impact in quiet, powerful ways. She launched Encore, a unisex fashion capsule with adaptive closures, inspired by her own dexterity challenges from stiff person syndrome. The pieces are elegant, understated, and deeply human. A portion of profits funds neurological research. She co-chairs the International SPS Alliance, advocating for faster drug approvals and global awareness. She mentors young artists living with chronic conditions, not in rehearsals, but through letters, Zoom calls, and voice notes. "Even if I'm not on stage," she says, "I can still help someone reach theirs." And her philanthropy, always discreet, remains foundational. Since 1982, she has supported Saint Justine Children's Hospital. Now, through her Céline pour Soi initiative, she funds hospices across Quebec, making sure no family says goodbye without dignity. A portion of every past Vegas ticket helped feed families in Clark County. It was never publicized. It was never about credit. Just quiet kindness. Her life today is slower, but no less devoted. She thaws homemade soup for neighborhood shelters, lights candles at Notre Dame Basilica, FaceTimes her son, René Charles, about mixing techniques. At night, she still ends every journal entry with her mother's phrase, "Merci la vie." Her sobriety journey now includes early bedtimes, no alcohol, customized in-ear monitors, and a strict 7-hour sleep rule. Gone are the long-haul flights and late-night rehearsals. In their place, physiotherapy, Pilates, and neurofeedback, tools not for fame, but for resilience. This veteran mentor isn't chasing a chart. She's preserving a legacy. And that legacy, more than her platinum records or Oscar ballads, lies in her unshakable truth. Fragility is not failure. It is another octave, another way to sing. In June 2024, she closed the Paris Olympics with Hymne à l'amour by Edith Piaf. Her voice lower, yes, but richer, stronger in its restraint. And during Eurovision 2025, she surprised audiences with a bilingual video greeting, dressed in a silver-gray blazer that went viral for its quiet grace. Whispers suggest a 12-night run at Montreal's Bell Centre, tailored for her condition. Shorter sets, meditative interludes, 270-degree seating for intimacy. No grand return, just a woman, a microphone, and the courage to stand exactly as she is. And maybe that is Céline Dion's greatest redemption. Not the comeback, but the quiet insistence that her story isn't finished. So if you ever feel broken, uncertain, or lost in transition, remember this. Céline Dion didn't need to sing at full volume to be heard. Sometimes, the most powerful note is a whisper that dares to begin again. To prove that love outsings fear. That fragility can be another octave, and that every goodbye is a prelude to a new song. That's her legacy. What's yours? If this tribute moved you, subscribe for more stories of resilience, redemption, and cultural impact. Because some voices never fade. They just find new ways to echo.